Week 17, and the NFC East is undecided. That's right. It is up in the air, and the Dallas Cowboys could win it. The New York Giants could win it. And guess what? They face each other here to wrap up the regular season. With more on this matchup, here's our very own Jane Slater. Happy New Year, Jane.
Welcome to 2021, everyone. I hope last night wasn't too wild for you and you're feeling okay this morning. I'll tell you who's feeling better that it's 2021 is head coach Mike McCarthy. In fact, he said he didn't plan on staying up until midnight. He just wanted to put this year behind him. And who can blame him? It has been a particularly cruel year for the Dallas Cowboys, especially at that quarterback position. Incidentally, it was that game against the Giants earlier this season at AT&T Stadium that they lost Dak Prescott. Now, listen, this offense is finally getting in a rhythm. Andy Dalton under center is helping this team ride a 3-game win streak. In fact, during that period, they're averaging 257 total yards of offense, and he's only thrown 1 pick. The area they're struggling in, though, is inside the red zone, an area the Giants are particularly good at defending. In fact, the Cowboys, since the loss of Dak, have made 31 trips down there. They've converted only 12. Against the Eagles last weekend, they had 5 trips inside of it, settled for field goals 3 times, and they scored touchdowns in 2 of them. Now, they're also really, really good about defending against the run, the Giants. They're 11th in the league. Ezekiel Elliott, though, coming off one of his best games this season, 105 total rushing yards. He is just 63 rushing yards shy of yet another 1,000-yard season.
Thank you so much. Later, Slater, time for a little bit of a mad minute. I cannot believe it's week 17, guys. How did we make it to the end of the regular season? And how are there so many questions to be answered here in the regular season finale? Let's start in the NFC East here, or stay there rather. The Giants hosting the Cowboys. You heard Slater. What intrigues you about this one? Burleson, go.
Well, I'm looking at Daniel Jones. You know, I had a conversation with Golden Tate this week, and I just straight up asked him, I said, what do you think about Daniel Jones? Is he in that pocket of quarterbacks where, you know, they're constantly criticized for not winning big games and not taking their game to the next level? You know, the Mitch Trubisky's, Jimmy Garoppolo. He said, no. I'm not saying those guys aren't good, but Daniel Jones is different. Just watching and see how he plays and finishes off the season. So for me, you know, looking at Daniel Jones and what happens with the Giants moving forward, that's who I have my eyes on.
Daniel Jones has not thrown an interception in 5 straight games. That's a pretty cool streak, but it's going to end this weekend if he doesn't stay on his P's and Q's, because the Cowboys defense is actually playing better. Guys, we have a vested interest in this. One of these teams very likely could host a home playoff game. I think Dallas wins this game, though.
Ooh. Dallas is hot, and they're hot out of nowhere, and it's one of these things where if you win another game and Washington loses, suddenly the Cowboys are one of the hottest teams entering the playoffs. I'm fascinated for this one. Do the Giants have anything left? Last 2 weeks, they indicated they didn't, yet Joe Judge, believe in that guy. I think they'll have something to play for.
You nailed it, Triggs. The winner of this game only gets in if Washington loses to Philadelphia. So there's a lot going on here. Hard to believe it's been this long, but Eddie Dalton looking for his first playoff appearance, guys, since 2014 after taking the Bengals there in each of his first 4 seasons in the National Football League. Okay, Washington, Philly. Let's get to that one, okay? What are you keeping your eye on in this one, Schrager? Let's start with you.
All right, Alex Smith is trending well, is what everyone's saying on the Network reports. I think it's the most important quarterback situation in the league, even more important than Tua or Aaron Rodgers with his left tackles. Like, they need to have Alex Smith out there. And that's something against Heineke. I just feel like Alex Smith gives such a calm and gives such a competence to that team. And then if he's out there, I believe that defensive line can wreck shop and win that game alone. And that's the craziest thing. We might be relying in the final game of the season, 256, on a defensive line sending a team to the playoffs.
In order for Jalen Hurts to make this really interesting, he's going to have to finish the season strong. Like right now, he hasn't necessarily slammed the door on him being the quarterback moving forward. I know we're all excited, and I am too. But it's almost like you're going to that mass warehouse grocery store and you're getting those little samples. Now the samples taste delicious, but are we going to buy the big box?
Don't let Washington in. If I'm Drew Brees, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, I'm watching the Washington D-line like Nicolas Cage in 8mm. The film is real. Keep Washington's D-line out. None of those NFC quarterbacks want to see them.
Well said. Now, no matter who wins the NFC East, guys, Washington, Dallas, or New York, they're going to go down in history as just the 3rd team ever to make the playoffs with a losing record. What an accomplishment. Happy New Year! Welcome to 2021. That feels good to say. It really does. This is our show. It's called Good Morning Football. It's brought to you by Intuit QuickBooks. I am back just in time to kick off what should be the best year of our lives, right here on GMFB. My name is Kay Adams, and Happy New Year to my work brothers, Kyle Brandt, Nate Burleson, and Peter Schrager. Hey, guys.
Merry New Year! Let's do it.
Oh, Nate's rare form. Love it. At GMFB with your tweets, your questions. We've got your playoff breakdown coming up, but let's go to Ian Rappaport at Rapsheet on Twitter. He's, of course, our NFL Network insider. Ian, Happy New Year to you. Dolphins going to Buffalo, a massive must-win situation on Sunday. We got some really bad news yesterday on Ryan Fitzpatrick. What's the latest? And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Kay. And for Ryan Fitzpatrick, obviously a difficult situation right now. He was not at practice yesterday for the Miami Dolphins as they prepared for, as you mentioned, a huge game on Sunday. The reason why, sources said, is that he tested positive for COVID-19. He was later placed on the COVID-19 reserve list, which means he is out for Sunday's game. Not only Sunday's game, depending on the timing of the playoff game, if the Dolphins do, in fact, end up making the playoffs, he could potentially be out for that game as well. Would depend on whether or not the game is the next Saturday or the next Sunday. Obviously, if the Dolphins do make the playoffs, plenty of time to get to that. But he's not a starting quarterback, obviously. And for most teams, almost all teams, this would be a non-issue. But we have seen Fitzmagic come in out of the bullpen, a fresh arm, saved the day for the Dolphins a couple times this year. Brian Flores is committed to Tua. He is their starter. But when they've needed to, just like they did against the Raiders, they've been able to bring Fitz off the bench to come in and give the offense a spark. That is not available Sunday, so it is going to be all Tua for the Dolphins.
Miami, of course, clinches a playoff berth with a win up against the Buffalo Bills. Thank you so much, Ian. Good to see you. Let's take a look at this playoff picture and break it down. Yes, Miami can win if they beat the Bills. They also can get in to the playoffs if there's a loss by either the Ravens, the Browns, or the Colts. So a couple of ways into the dance party. So, Shregs, what does the Fitzpatrick news mean for the Dolphins and really just the AFC in general heading into a pivotal ins and outs Week 17?
Yeah, welcome back, Kay. And Ian made a incredible point there that any other team you might say, okay, well, the veteran backup quarterback's not there. It's not ideal, but here we go. But we are 6 days removed from Ryan Fitzpatrick saving the Dolphins season in miraculous form out there in Las Vegas in a Saturday night game like we've never seen before. And the decision was, we're going to start Tua. All right. Going to start Tua, but I think everyone, whether it be a Dolphins fan or us on this show, everyone was like, they're going to start Tua, but this guy's available if you need him to clean up any messes that Tua leaves on aisle number 3. Here's what this is. It's Ryan Fitzpatrick not only not available to go in the game,